son on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all time. I will raise this child to torture you the way you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young.
The situation at T.I. and Tiny's home has become very complicated, and it's all due to rumors surrounding King Harris and his pregnant girlfriend. People are saying that she has been emotionally manipulating King Harris for months, particularly since she got pregnant. The reason behind this, according to gossip, is that she is trying to secure a place in T.I.'s family, mainly for financial gain. T.I. is aware of this and has made it very clear to King Harris that this relationship is heading for trouble. T.I. believes that King's girlfriend, whom he refers to as Big Nana, is more interested in money than love. T.I. is no stranger to the industry, and after all the time he spent in the spotlight, he can tell when someone is being genuine or not. T.I. has also made it clear that he will not allow Big Nana to manipulate the family dynamic or control their finances. He told King Harris right away that he won't be responsible for Big Nana or the child. This leaves King with no other choice but to take full responsibility for the baby and whatever comes next in his life. It seems like T.I. has drawn a very firm line in the sand about this situation, and it is up to King to figure out how to handle it. To give you a bit of background, as T.I. and Tiny's children started to grow up and form their own families, T.I. and Tiny started to enjoy their role as grandparents. For example, Tiny's daughter Zeke had a baby in 2020, and recently, T.I.'s son, who is known as Men, became a father as well. In an interview with Hot 107, T.I. shared the news that he and his wife Tiny were expecting their second grandchild, while King Harris, despite some teasing remarks about their family dynamics, was also expecting a child with his girlfriend, Big Nana. But not everyone was happy about King Harris becoming a father, especially T.I. He openly expressed disappointment when he found out that King's girlfriend was much older than him. T.I. had urged King not to let his guard down, warning him that her motives seemed more focused on money rather than a real emotional connection. This kind of behavior seemed out of place for someone who was supposed to be part of a loving, supportive family. As it turns out, T.I. and King Harris have had a rocky father-son relationship for a while, and this news of King becoming a parent just added fuel to the fire. T.I. even expressed his dissatisfaction publicly. For instance, a few months ago, when King was having a heated argument at a basketball game, he went live on Instagram. Fans watched as T.I. stepped in to try and stop the situation from escalating. "T!" I shouted at King, telling him that acting aggressively and like a gangster was embarrassing the whole family. He reminded King that they were better than that and that he should respect the family's image. T.I. even physically intervened, putting King in a headlock to show that he was the father and that respect should be maintained.
Oh man, it's a lot about that TV show, man. That TV. Because I live with my grandma. I go to the house for like the weekend. They say, hey, we keep it today. We need y'all at the house. They come get me to my grandma's house. Right after we done, when the cameras go off, right back to my grandma.
After the incident at the game, King Harris and T.I. had yet another confrontation. This time, King accused T.I. of abandoning him while growing up, and he even went as far as to claim that T.I. had been abusive. King began to paint a picture of himself as someone who came from humble beginnings, trying to present himself as a rapper who was struggling in the streets. Fans, however, weren't buying it. They reminded him that T.I. was a millionaire and that the Harris family lived in a luxurious mansion, far removed from the hardships he was describing. This led many to believe that King Harris was just trying to chase some kind of image or fame, rather than being true to his roots. King, however, opened up more about his childhood after the argument with T.I. He admitted that he spent most of his time growing up with his grandmother, who still lived in the neighborhood. Despite the claims of having a tough upbringing, it was clear that King was not like other kids from the neighborhood, given that his parents had money and provided for him. However, he also mentioned that he didn't have much of a relationship with T.I., and he would only see his father when it was time to film their family reality show. After filming, King would leave quickly, suggesting that the relationship between them was very distant.
Okay, so I would say what hurt me would be like, honestly, like my mom being like with Tip all the time.
Damn.
Like,
Timestamp that.
that time that I feel like even now and today, like that's how it is. Like there's just ties in it. But now I'm grown, so it's like I can't really. But it's like they'd rather go places with each other. So anytime he gotta go, she gotta go. She gotta go, he go. It's just like.
It turns out that King wasn't the only one who felt neglected. Zeke, Tiny's daughter, also spoke out about how T.I. and Tiny were almost always together and traveling, rarely spending time with their children. Zeke mentioned that growing up with all the wealth and luxuries didn't make up for the lack of parental attention. She even said that having money, but ignoring your kids was crazy. Despite these claims, insiders close to T.I.'s family said that T.I. did give King many chances and guidance. He also continued to warn King about the issues he would face in his relationship with Big Nana. T.I. repeatedly told King that she seemed more interested in money than in forming a real, loving bond with him. As time passed, Big Nana became pregnant, and that only intensified the situation. The emotional manipulation from Big Nana became even more obvious as she tried to control King Harris. Sources close to the situation claim that Big Nana encouraged King to distance himself from his family, thinking that by having his child, she could get some fame and a payout from the Harris family. T.I., however, did not stand for this. He's been very vocal in criticizing Big Nana for what he sees as exploiting his son. He believes that King was too naive and allowed himself to get too deep into a relationship with someone who was much older than him and had questionable intentions. T.I. made it very clear to Big Nana that he would not financially support her or her child. He told her that she would never be able to manipulate her way into their family's wealth and that everything would fall under King Harris's responsibility. After all of this I gave King and Big Nana a chance to sit down and discuss their future, but only if Big Nana was ready to take King seriously. The situation between T.I. King Harris and Big Nana has sparked a lot of conversations online. Fans have shared their thoughts, with some defending T.I.'s actions, saying that he's only trying to protect his son from making poor decisions and falling into bad situations. Others believe that T.I. might be overreacting, trying to control his son's life too much, especially since King is now 20 years old and an adult. Many fans feel that King should learn to handle his own problems, especially when it comes to raising a child without relying on his father's wealth. The debate over whether T.I. is overreacting or whether his actions are justified has been a topic of much discussion. Some argue that T.I. should step back and let King figure things out for himself, while others feel that T.I. is simply trying to shield his son from what could be a very difficult future. No matter what side people are on, one thing is clear: the family dynamics are incredibly tense right now, and King Harris has some major decisions to make. What do you think about T.I.'s involvement in his son's life and his response to King Harris's relationship with Big Nana? Do you feel that T.I. is acting in the best interest of his family, or is he crossing a line by trying to control King's choices? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.